celebrating. We're celebrating that we're finally saying we're afraid no more.
Libyan protesters gain presence and control in more cities.
Amidst reports from Press TV and Al Jazeera of military members being executed for refusing to open fire on pro-democracy demonstrators, a growing number of soldiers, officers, and in some cases, entire bases have announced they are now supporting the protesters, including Libyan Army Commander Major General Suleiman Mahmoud in the eastern city of Tobruk, Security Chief Ali Hawadi, and top security official Ahmed Gaddafi al-Dam, who is a cousin to Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. According to Press TV, even the leader's youngest son, Saif al-Arab Gaddafi, has joined the movement.
Their support has enabled the demonstrators calling for government change to gain control of major eastern coastal cities and towns, including Tobruk, Benghazi, Derna, and Baida, with soldiers there preparing to counter any government attack. In addition, news agencies BBC and Al Jazeera report that a number of provincial governors and the western cities of Misurata and Zuwara are now also in the control of protesters. On Wednesday, US President Barack Obama spoke in support of the protesters' actions.
The change that is taking place across the region is being driven by the people of the region. This change doesn't represent the work of the United States or any foreign power. It represents the aspirations of people who are seeking a better life. As one Libyan said, we just want to be able to live like human beings. It is the most basic of aspirations that is driving this change.
Foreign governments, meanwhile, continue efforts to remove their citizens from the volatile situations as they evacuate via plane, ferry, and border crossings. These include Egypt, Tunisia, China, Turkey, Thailand, India, the Philippines, Bangladesh, Italy, Ukraine, United States, Russia, Canada, Brazil, France, and the United Kingdom. The Egyptian people have also been organizing aid to help the brave Libyan protesters. The Egyptian Doctors Syndicate, comprising many of the same physicians and paramedics who were volunteering at Tahrir Square during the Egyptian protests, have been journeying into neighboring Libya while the Egyptian military continues to operate field hospitals at the border.
As part of a renewed call by the international community for an end to the violence and for the government to respect Libyan citizens, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon issued a statement as well.
In the Middle East today, we see people, especially young people, pushing the frontiers of freedom. Yesterday, the Security Council and League of Arab States each sent a strong and unequivocal message: no violence and respect for human rights. The world has spoken with one voice. The government of Libya must meet its responsibility to protect its people.
On Thursday, phone conversations were held between U.S. President Barack Obama, French President Nicolas Sarkozy, and British Prime Minister David Cameron, in which the three leaders discussed the Libyan crisis and ways to bring about an immediate end to the killing of innocent people. White House spokesperson Philip Crowley later stated that options being considered including imposing sanctions, establishing a no-fly zone, and even military action.
The suffering and bloodshed is outrageous, and it is unacceptable. So are threats and orders to shoot peaceful protesters and further punish the people of Libya. These actions violate international norms and every standard of common decency. This violence must stop.
Due to the large numbers of refugees already flooding into Italy, the nation's government has appealed to the European Union for help, saying that it cannot cope with the anticipated increase in people seeking safety outside the borders of their own countries. Italian Foreign Minister Franco Frattini estimates 350,000 will be coming from Libya, on top of the thousands who are already streaming in from Tunisia.
Among the countries where protesters continue to call for improved rights, freedom and democracy are Zimbabwe, Cameroon, Palestine, Yemen and Bahrain, where a group of police and military personnel joined the protests, expressing remorse that their previous actions had led to the deaths of fellow Bahraini citizens, saying that they now recognize their role is to protect Bahrainis rather than harm them.
In addition, thousands gathered in Delhi, India to protest high unemployment and rising food prices, while other demonstrations were held in Greece, Bolivia, and Wisconsin, USA, where workers have been joined by others across the country in their protest against a bill intended to remove their collective bargaining rights. Still, other countries countries with people who are calling for improved opportunities and well-being include Morocco, Lebanon, China, Panama, and Honduras.
With our sincere sympathies for the lives lost, we pray for heaven's protection of all countries and for the conflicts to cease so that peace may prevail among all people in shared dignity, respect, and freedom.